watching Live Now from Fox. I'm Daytona, Everett. We have some pretty tragic breaking news coming out today. Actor Ray Liotta, perhaps best known for his role in Goodfellas, has died. He was working on a movie in the Dominican Republic when he died in his sleep. No foul play is suspected at this time. We have TMZ's Michael Babcock joining us here on Live Now to remember the life and legacy of Ray. This is so sad, Michael. Only 67 years old. It feels young.
Hey, Daytona, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is incredibly sad news. And, it's always sad when somebody passes away. But with Ray Liotta, who was literally in the Dominican Republic working on a film called Dangerous Water. So it's not that he was somebody who at least the fans knew was sick or who had stopped working. I mean, he was very much working. And then he tragically passes away at, like you said, at only 67 years old in his sleep. Now, the question everybody wants to know is, how did he die? Why did he die? And authorities are obviously investigating the death, but from their preliminary investigation right now, there are no signs of foul play. So this likely appears, and sure, it could change, but it likely appears that this was something that just naturally happened. But that doesn't mean it's not sad. Personally, for me, Goodfellas, 1990, obviously directed by Martin Scorsese, alongside Robert De Niro, was such a great movie, and it opened so many doors for Ray. He lobbied hard for that role, and he got it, and it changed his life.
Yeah, it changed his life, and it changed so many people's lives who love the mobsters. They love Goodfellas, and it's always a nice time to remember, the roles that he had. He was this tougher than life, I feel like, character, and now his life unfortunately over here. But when you think of Ray Liotta, I'm curious, what are your first thoughts if you had to describe him in like 2 to 3 words?
Like a great actor, tough guy. That's what comes to my mind. And maybe it's because I'm a guy from New Jersey, and I grew up watching those mob movies. Those are some of my favorite films, and Goodfellas literally right at the top of the list. It's funny though, hearing people who are a little bit younger, they know him for other movies and comedies that he ended up starring in. So certainly somebody that a lot of people remember for Goodfellas, but not that he was typecast or he could only play one role. He was a very versatile actor, and it's just such a shame. A guy who had a lot left to give, and only at 67 years old to pass away is just terribly sad.
Yeah, a little bit softer side of him, I feel like, coming out in some of these other roles, and then Field of Dreams, he starred in it. So he was versatile.
Yeah, how about that, right? To also be in Field of Dreams, which a lot of people would argue is the greatest sports movie of all time. So, talk about a guy who had an incredible career. And even though, he passes away today, somebody that definitely will not be forgotten. Goodfellas, I think we'll be talking about that movie 50 years from now and beyond. It was that important. So he's gone, but it certainly will not be forgotten.
Well, we're reacting to this today, but of course, some of his co-stars are reacting to Lorraine Bracco, who played, of course, his wife in Goodfellas. She wrote on Twitter after the news broke saying, "I am utterly shattered to hear this terrible news about my Ray." I mean, this is...
we've had some other celebrities who have unexpectedly passed away this year. Bob Saget obviously passed away, and that too was something that was completely out of the blue. And it just seems to sting a little bit more when you didn't see it coming. And we started to get the tips in, Ray Liotta's passed away, and then you furiously work on these things, and you all the while hope that it isn't true. But unfortunately, in this case, it did end up to be true, and he'll be missed.
Yeah, his fiance actually at the Dominican Republic with him on the island. He obviously leaves her behind. That's something to be noting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She was there with him. She was staying with him as he was working on that other movie. And she's there. And, I remember when they got engaged in 2020 and nobody knew that he was in a serious relationship. And then he announces on social media that he's engaged, and such a happy moment. You see the theme here. Still a guy who was very much working hard, was still very much in the prime of his life, had a wedding to look forward to. And now he's gone.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on this, Michael, as we move forward? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reruns here going into the weekend. Might be a good time to binge some Ray films.
Yeah, my last words would be, I'm going to watch Goodfellas tonight. It's a incredible movie.
All right, Michael Babcock with TMZ. We so appreciate you, and we'll also be following the investigation into this because he died in his sleep. That is what we are hearing right now. I'm sure we'll be getting more details.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's something we'll continue to follow. And anytime, Daytona. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. Also in our entertainment news, British prosecutors charging actor Kevin Spacey with 4 counts of sexual assault against 3 men. Now, the Crown Prosecution Service said the Oscar-winning actor, quote, has also been charged with causing a person to engage in some sexual activity without consent. The alleged incidents happened between March 2005 and August of 2008, with an additional one happening in April of 2013. Now, the head of the Special Crime Division said the charges follow a review of evidence gathered by London's Metropolitan Police. Spacey was questioned by British police in 2019 about claims by several men that he had assaulted them. This is, of course, just the very latest, as there's going to be a lot more developments surrounding the story. Live Now from Fox going to try to stay up to date on that as well.